Hi Halloweenies, I'm Ozzy the Horror Cub. Take a trip with me to Woodsboro as we break down the Scream trailer. Let's get into it. That's right, on January the 14th, 2022, we're gonna have a new Scream movie. This will be Scream 5, produced by Radio Silence and Spyglass Media. This will see the directors of 2019's Ready or Not come to the Scream franchise to give it a fresh new reinvention. I really do feel like they're taking on Wes Craven's legacy and running with it. This was everything that I think Scream 4 was supposed to be in 2011, a passing of the torch movie. The problem with Scream 4 is, it had nobody to pass its torch to. The person that we think is going to become our Sidney Prescott character and pass on the torch, Emma Roberts, though I love Scream 4 and I love me some Emma Roberts and I do love her crazy, the problem is she can't take on the legacy role of Sidney because she's trying her hardest to become Sidney and she's secretly Ghostface, so there was no person to really take on the mantle, and I really do feel like this movie is going to change that. This movie is about reintroducing the legacy characters but passing the torch to this new generation of kids. Let's talk about this new generation. Now the trailer opens giving us some Casey Becker vibes and we see Jenna Ortega and she's going to be playing Tara Carpenter. Note her last name, Carpenter. John Carpenter? Okay, we see what you did there. Love that they're setting us up with this opening scene too, giving us this Casey Becker experience with the Jenna Ortega character. However, what I think they're doing is faking us out. I honestly don't think this is the opening of the movie. I think that they're making this feel like this is the opening of the movie. This will be at the near start, but I don't think she will be the first attacked. I don't think she's our opening kill. Fingers crossed for Selena Gomez, everybody. Like, I'm still hoping Selena Gomez is still the opening kill of this movie. I do think that this was a fake out. I don't think that Jenna Ortega is gonna die. I think there's a reason why everyone is in a hospital later on in the film. Now in this scene, Tara is being harassed by a phone caller on her landline. First of all, who still has a landline? I'm so into it. We see her texting back and forth with her girlfriend, or who we think is her girlfriend. Now she's currently dating Amber, played by Millie Madison. Amber's like, hey, why aren't you picking up the landline? And she's like, how did you know my landline was ringing? Cut to her running out the front door, getting sliced by Ghostface, running back in, opening up an app on her phone and seeing that the door is being unlocked by Ghostface. I love that Ghostface is using technology in this film. We do see Ghostface attack Tara. However, I think this is a red herring because later on in the film we see somebody in a wheelchair at the hospital, leg broken. Now if you see later on in the trailer, Jenna Ortega looks like she's on the ground and Ghostface comes up behind her and looks like he breaks her in the leg. So I don't think she dies. I think that this was an attack. Notice how after this scene changes, we cut straight to Dewey Riley. Deputy Dewey Riley looking sexy as hell. He's not a part of the police force anymore. He's retired. He's not the sheriff of the town. He's not a part of any of this. He has taken a step back and he's really going to be a mentor character to this new generation along with Sidney, because he calls Sidney and he tells her that there have been 3 attacks. Not kills, attacks. That leads me to believe that Jenna Ortega's character does not die and that she is in the hospital. Now when they were first advertising for Scream 5, this is how they marketed it. They said in their synopsis, a woman returns to her hometown to try and figure out who's been committing a series of vicious crimes. Now this is going to drive our new final girl into gear. This is going to be Melissa Barrera, and she's playing Samantha Carpenter. This is going to be Tara's sister. Now Tara still lives in the town of Woodsboro, but Samantha has moved out, and Tara resents her for that. But it looks like she's come back to Woodsboro to try and figure out who committed these crimes against her sister, and this is where Sidney comes to the hospital and meets this character, and Melissa Barrera's character knows about Sidney Prescott's character, and of course she would know about Sidney because the Stab films are a part of the continuity. Now I do think the reason why everybody is at the hospital is because they're here for Tara Carpenter. She's been in the hospital, she didn't get killed, her leg is probably broken, and that's why we see Ghostface stalking that person in the wheelchair. I do think that this is Tara Carpenter. I love the fact that Dewey asked Sidney if she has a gun and she goes, I'm Sidney Prescott, of course I've got a gun. Everything is just so iconic. Sidney Prescott is looking resilient as ever. She is here to pass down her knowledge to this new generation, and now she finally gets somebody to pass her knowledge down to, and I really do think Samantha is going to step up and be a great final girl, and I love the shot that we have of her standing in Stu Macher's house. Because Stu's house is going to come back in the finale of this film, it's going to really lead to the Act 3 climax. I love that this is really an homage to the first Scream. Now, are there going to be multiple Ghostfaces? I mean, probably. The only film that didn't feature a multiple Ghostface was Scream 3. I do think, though, that we're gonna have an army of Ghostfaces, and the reason why I say that is the original idea for Scream 3 was supposed to be that Stu Macher was rising up his own cult followers of Ghostfaces to take down Sidney and the rest of the survivors. I do think that that's what's gonna happen in this film. I do think that Stu or Billy had a child. That child could be Wes Hicks, and I do think that's gonna play out, and that's why we're at Stu's house for the final. Because that was the original plan for Scream 3, going back to Stu's house. I do think that that could play into this film too. Hey, it was only a TV crushing Matthew Lillard's head, and Matthew Lillard has confirmed so many times that Stu could still be alive. That's what I'm hoping for at the end of the day. But I don't think that Dewey's gonna make it, because we do get shots at the hospital, and there does look like there's gonna be a scuffle that involves Ghostface and Dewey, and I don't know if Dewey's gonna make it out of this film. I do think that that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna subvert our expectations, they're gonna give us a lot of red herrings, but I think that one of our main leads from the past 4 films has to go. I do think that Dewey is gonna be that character. However, that being said, I do love how they're kind of making him the Randy Meeks character of this film, passing on the knowledge of the horror movie rules. We also get an establishing shot of all of our new characters in this film, including Wes Hicks. Keep an eye on him. There's just something about him that I don't trust. Later on in this film, we get to see Deputy Judy Hicks, now sheriff, speeding through the town of Woodsboro. Something is going down. Is her kid a ghost face? I don't know. I'm keeping my eye on you though. You know, having Gail back, utterly fabulous, but she's not serving the iconic Gail fashion. She's kind of in this like blue dowdy sweater, and I don't know if I'm having it for her character. I was just expecting Gale Weathers to be iconic, something in neon, something hot, I don't know, fuchsia maybe? Maybe she'll surprise me though throughout the film with a different look. Hey, at least it's not the Scream 3 bangs. We also see Chad Martin, and he's being played by Mason Gooding, and we see Ghostface attacking him. Now he's got a twin sister in this movie, and there's another establishing shot at the end of the trailer that sees her being attacked too. This is Mindy Martin, and she's being played by Jasmine Brown. Are these red herrings? Are these characters actually being killed, or are these just attacks? We don't know just yet. Then it jumps to a scene where Samantha is explaining that all the people that were attacked were related to the original killers. So what does this mean? Does this mean that everyone that's been attacked thus far has been related to Stu Macher or Billy Loomis? Obviously this is going back to the original, this tying back to the original film and giving us something new, something fresh, reinventing something that we didn't know, and something from the past is always going to come and bite you in the ass, and Randy was always saying that. You see so many shots of carnage, someone's on fire, it looks like in the kitchen of Stu Macher's house, loving it. Then finally our last shot, Sidney entering Stu Macher's house, facing down Ghostface, him looking at her, saying, "Hello Sidney, it's an honor." This was an amazing trailer. Don't know how this is going to play out in the movie. I don't know if they're faking us out. I know they filmed so many different endings towards this film. They could have filmed so many different scenes that don't even make it into the movie, and that's what they could have put into this trailer. I think this movie's going to give us enough clever red herrings to subvert our expectations. The directors of Ready or Not are extremely smart. They know what they're doing, and I have total faith in them. This really does feel like it's passing the torch. It feels like it's honoring Wes Craven's legacy, as well as Kevin Williamson's script. I really do hope there's a lot of meta references and we do get new roles within this film. But what did you guys think about the trailer? Are you excited for Scream 5? What was your favorite part? Let me know down below. Until next time, stay spooky.